So 2 months later, here we are. The Academy has begun by removing the portrait of Lee as well as a stone bust of Lee.
Hi folks, and welcome back to the Storm and Cellar. It was announced this week that all statues representing anyone who served with the Confederacy would be taken down at West Point Academy. Now, I don't have a dog in this fight except from a historical perspective, and what does the future hold for us? My real question is, where does the removal of monuments end in America? Let's look at the video and I'll give you my thoughts.
And right now, West Point Military Academy is using the holiday break to remove several Confederate monuments.
Taking these monuments during a holiday break reeks of a thief in the night. Will there be concerns from the cadets? Will they continue to teach about generals like Lee and what they brought to West Point? Or will they be banned as well?
Xavier Walton joins us live with more on the process and what will be removed from this historic school. Good morning, Xavier.
Kelly, good morning. And this really is just the first stage over the next year.
Yes, this is just the start. But is there more to come? When will they take U.S. Army's Lieutenant Colonel George Armstrong Custer statue down? As you know, Custer had been accused by Native Americans for breaking treaties and killing of peaceful Cheyenne women and children at Washita River in Oklahoma. How about General Ulysses S. Grant, a drunk who was forced to resign his commission as a captain and was purported as the most corrupt and scandalous president in history?
West Point is going to remove or modify more than a dozen symbols that have some sort of tie to the Confederacy, and that includes taking down a portrait of General Robert E. Lee that is still up in the Academy's library.
First, let me say that the statues, especially that of General Robert E. Lee, one of the greatest generals ever produced from West Point, presents a bit of a dilemma. Lee was the son of a Revolutionary War hero and married to the great-granddaughter of George Washington. Lee's engineering and reconnaissance ingenuity was instrumental in the victory of the Mexican-American War. He also served as an esteemed superintendent at West Point, commanding the mentoring to hundreds of future Army officers. By the way, Lee graduated number 2 in his class and is the only one of 2 cadets ever to receive no demerits at West Point. When he joined the Confederacy, it was about states' rights to him, as he stated, "Where Virginia goes, I will go," and he would not raise a sword to fellow Virginians. Further, Lee called slavery an evil institution and willed freedom of all of his slaves.
It's part of a directive coming down from the Department of Defense. This process, it started, like you mentioned, over the holiday break, and according to the Academy Superintendent, Lieutenant General Stephen Gilland. So 2 months later, here we are. The Academy has begun by removing the portrait of Lee as well as a stone bust of Lee. And you know, the Academy is also going to remove 3 bronze plaques that include Lee and other Confederate figures, which include an image of a hooded figure with the words Ku Klux Klan written below.
Yes, definitely remove this albatross of a plaque with the inscription of Ku Klux Klan. This serves no purpose of history, considering the KKK was established after the Civil War and is a whole story within itself, and definitely had nothing to do with General Lee.
Lieutenant General Gilland, this is the superintendent of the Academy, said, quote, "We will conduct these actions with dignity and respect." Now, since May of 2020, at least 230 symbols of the Confederacy have been removed or renamed across the country. That's according to the Southern Poverty Law Center. Just last week in Richmond, Virginia, that's the video you're looking at, workers removed the bronze statue of General Ambrose Power Hill, a Confederate general killed in the American Civil War. This was the city's last standing Confederate monument.
It's my belief that the statues will eventually be destroyed. The destruction of the statue A.P. Hill and others was a reaction to the killing of George Floyd, which sparked out-of-control insanity. Not only were cities and communities destroyed and people killed or injured, but it was led by a government-induced craze to destroy monuments throughout the U.S. First, it was statues of Confederate generals. Then Christopher Columbus. Then a movement to destroy monuments and change names of schools and streets of presidents like Washington and Jefferson. Again, where will it end?
But back to West Point's effort, it speaks to the bigger picture here. The last part of the process is changing street names, buildings, and areas with names all tied to the Confederacy. The Academy, as that directive from the Department of Defense, has until next December, so December of 2023, to do all of this, Kelly.
The DOD has until 2023 to erase as much history as possible. So my question would be again, where does it end? When will the woke military and government destroy enough history that they'll be satisfied? As in Nazi Germany, Soviet Union, China, and Iran, how many statues, books, and movies will have to be banned? How much freedom will we have to give up to please the appetite of an out-of-control or overreaching government? I think it's important to remember that those who left the Union Army for the Confederacy for their beliefs are considered rebellious. But remember, there are also those whose beliefs led them to leave the British Army for the Continental Army as well. Perhaps it's just simply to the victor go the spoils, and the government and academia's obsession to write and, of course, rewrite history now in the 21st century. We can only hope this madness subsides before it's too late. As it's been said, you vote your way into Marxism, and then you have to shoot your way out of it. Hopefully this won't be the way the American story will be told 150 years from now. Okay, that's about it. Hope this video left you something to think about. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell to be notified of any future videos. So until next time, make sure your takeoff and landings equal.